In my opinion, the current value of this space is 3 trillion. The final tally is 10 to 15 trillion. Extrapolating the typical log trend of this, by the end of 2032, it will be $100 trillion. There will be $97 trillion in money that will flow in from this point on. If this trend continues, it will outpace all previous records for the rate of wealth accumulation. Early in the month of June, American Bitcoin Exchange Traded Funds ETFs amassed around $1.83 billion, or almost 2 months' worth of mining supplies of the cryptocurrency. The 2,729 Bitcoin bought by these ETFs between June 3rd and 7, according to HL5 Capital data, is roughly 8 times greater than the 3,150 fresh BTC created during the same time frame. When compared to May as a whole, when ETFs bought 29,592 BTC, this buying frenzy is a huge rise. At its current all-time high of $73,740, this buying frenzy is the biggest seen since the middle of March. In contrast to Grayscale's fund, which saw a net outflow of $17.93 billion since its introduction in January, the 11 Bitcoin ETFs together have garnered $15.69 billion. The total value of assets managed by these ETFs is close to $61 billion. Because of its intrinsic scarcity, Bitcoin is often compared to digital gold by its proponents. Bitcoin will never be more than 21 million. Even though Bitcoin ETFs have only been available for 5 months compared to gold ETFs, which have been established for 20 years, Nate Jar, president of ETF Shop, noted on June 9th that Bitcoin ETFs now own nearly 60% of the assets held by the country's gold ETFs. As a result of the flood of capital flowing into Bitcoin ETFs in the United States, the price of Bitcoin hit an all-time high of $71,900 on June 5th, the highest point since May 21st during this time. But getting beyond this recent high has been difficult for Bitcoin's price, affected by global events and macroeconomic variables. Crypto exchange co-founder Raider Bear, I'm pretty much 90% Solana. Throughout the cycle, it has shown to be the proper bet. I topped Slice Solana when it was going from 150 to 200, began purchasing the upper end of NFTs, and it was the only significant move I made this year. As a result, I purchased nearly every B poll that was available. After that, I stocked up on as many copies of X as I could afford, thinking about the future. These items had taken a beating. In my opinion, this space will increase from 2.5-3 trillion today to 10 to 15 trillion at the end of the cycle. Extrapolating the typical log trend of this, by the end of 2032, it will be $100 trillion. There will be $97 trillion in wealth that will flow from this. If this trend continues, it will outpace all previous records for the rate of wealth accumulation. For the sake of argument, let's pretend I'm completely stupid and 50% incorrect. That's still $50 trillion worth of wealth. That concludes our analysis of the SP 500's market capitalization and wealth increase history. As a result, the space will receive a portion of the wealth that is generated. Luxurious real estate in desirable locations will attract buyers. For whatever reason, possible VC funding, opportunity to expand the apps layer, or the allure of trophy assets, many in this field refuse to go, thus their work ends up in recycling. Since I believe this is the final opportunity to purchase trophy assets at these rates, I have been stocking up for what I hope will be a long-term investment horizon of at least 10 years. Arthur and I have several conversations over the banana zone. In this fruitless cycle, liquidity plays a role because refinancing of debt is necessary for central banks. It's when politicians lavish the public with sweets as a kind of bribery. Cryptocurrency is highly cyclical and often goes vertical at that point. It's propelled by the debt refinancing cycle's macroeconomic forces. Lavish the public with sweets as a kind of bribery. Cryptocurrency is highly cyclical and often goes vertical at that point. It's propelled by the debt refinancing cycle's macroeconomic forces. While it has an accumulative effect on all asset values, crypto's value is particularly vulnerable. Do not mess this up. That is the simplest way, so focus on a core portfolio of your most important holdings. However, there are other things that can yield substantial profits if you master them. There is a little more degen in the 10% to 20% portion of your portfolio. Some truly fascinating things can be found there. Upon returning to the iconic banana zone of the previous cycle, we find Solana, Avalanche, Luna, and Matic. It was absolutely ridiculous for those who chose a performance in just 1 year from those 4 tokens. It's going to happen. Again, can you guess who it is? What will it be? So far, I have no idea. However, the Baroda Zone offers just such kind of game. I often visit Singapore, a little country with a highly homogeneous populace among the main ethnic groups. And that's how I know meme coins aren't going anywhere and will only grow in popularity as the money supply increases. There is always a line at the Chanel, LV, Gucci, or any of the other prominent big-name stores whenever I take Orchard Road to the retail center to run errands. Hundreds of native Singaporeans patiently waiting in line to purchase an alphabet tattoo of their choosing, costing thousands of Singaporean dollars, and there they are, 15 or 20 people deep in line, all waiting to enter this business and spend what amounts to a few months' worth of income. To top it all off, they keep just doing this without fail. So if there is a market for cowhide adorned with the initials L and V, then obviously there is a market for it. Then they will definitely trade the latest meme coin, the psycho, while sitting on their computers and surfing the web, because crypto knowledge is not necessary. It's as if you are not required to have any knowledge of style. No one else is a fan. This is something I also enjoy. Quite typical of humans, actually. For someone just getting there. It's as if you are not required to have any knowledge of style. No one else is a fan. This is something I also enjoy. Quite typical of humans, actually. For someone just getting there. Feet wet in the crypto world, I believe primary coins are here to stay. It's the most basic concept imaginable. Wow. The picture is quite neat. I get that joke. It's hilarious. Since no one else sees the joke coming, I should be able to profit from it when it goes viral. No problem. That's great. My money is on this Mink one. To trade on a decentralized exchange around the clock, I don't need to comprehend blockchain, artificial intelligence, cryptography, and all the other underlying concepts. It is not necessary for me to comprehend anything. Am I missing something here? Is this a hip cultural fad or what? In my real life, I already do it when I go to buy a high-priced brand and wait in line for hours just to wear their emblem on my chest. Therefore, I believe that RO is the wealthiest man in the world just because he watches human behavior. A large portion of the world's richest people own high-end clothing and accessories. Affluent cryptocurrency holders own meme coins. There's no need to wait in line, so getting in is already a breeze. Assuming there's a lot of viewing, I guess, but it's still worth considering. After you've gotten that out of the way, you may certainly ape into these on your chosen decentralized exchange. Drift is a company in my portfolio, therefore I hope you do it there.